Evolutionary Theory and Psychology, Basic Intro. Professor Michael Botwin, Department of Psychology, California State University, Fresno. There's probably no one more controversial than Charles Darwin in non-scientific circles. In scientific circles, his stuff's pretty well accepted. Not universally, but pretty universally. In our class, we're going to explore in this unit some of the background material, a little bit about the life of Darwin. We're not going to get too deep into it, just a little bit. There are many, many extremely comprehensive biographies on Charles Darwin. Right now I'm working my way through a 2-volume one. That's about 1,000 pages. We're going to get about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll also look at some cartoons about evolution to start with, just to get us in the mood. And we'll get into some background material in this video lecture. In our other evolutionary lectures, we'll get into the basic concepts, precursors to Darwinian theory, and some other interesting things. So, hold on for the ride. I hope you enjoy. In the distant future, I see more open fields for far more important researches. Psychology will be built on a new foundation, that of the necessary acquirement of each mental power and capacity by gradation. Darwin said that in 1858, 21 years before Wilhelm Wundt founded the first psychological laboratory in Leipzig, Germany. He effected. Well, let's start our cartoons with looking at this one, Life on Earth, the Leading Theories. First theory, evolution, says things developed from earlier forms. Second theory, intelligent design, such as the biblical account of creation. Third theory, intelligent design of the gods. Mankind sprang from Zeus's mighty scepter as he rode his golden chariot across the sun. And then the interplanetary intelligent design. Johnny humanoid seed aliens planted life across the galaxy. And then no evolution or design. In reality, you're only a sea squirt who ate some really bad plankton. And this has just been a long, awful dream. Burp. And our final cartoon box here. Your theory, go crazy, then make a fuss and force teachers to teach it in school. What am I doing in this box? I'm supposed to be on the other side. What's going on here? Help! I'm stuck in this box. Help! Let me out. Let me out. Oh well. Well, that's certainly much better. Let's talk about the other cartoons. Okay, all the other species seem to have it together on this, except we tend to put our hands in our pockets and think about stuff too much. You know my love of dogs, cooked meats, wheels to chase, a fire to bask by. Fellas, we're done revolving. Caption reads, forget the experts. Domestication of the dog took only about 8 seconds. With a bark from Pippin. We were wolves once, wild and wary, stealth and cunning. Then we noticed you had couches. If you've noticed the back end of each video, it's a We Are Couches video production. Guess which picture inspired that? For those of you who have ever traveled with children, are we evolved yet? Are we evolved yet? Are we evolved yet? Now let's look at some a little more serious things. Basic problems of humans. If you look at the basic problems we have, they start with survival problems. They end up with self-actualization. To look at Maslow's old hierarchy of needs. Freud, you have sex and aggression and love and work. The sex leads to reproduction, the love and work increases status, both important things from an evolutionary point of view. If you were in personality class, you learned quite a bit about the Jungian notion of the archetype and the collective unconscious. Those fit very nicely in with evolutionary theory. Bob Hogan is a personality psychologist at the University of Tulsa. He developed a socioanalytic theory of personality. It goes back to the Wiggin circumplex we talked about for those of you in personality in the trait unit, which has to do with two major components, getting ahead and getting along. Again, two major evolutionary tasks. Now, I could go through for another hour with more slides and more folks, but all I want you to remember from this thus far is understanding evolutionary principles allow us to understand ourselves in a more enlightened way. And hopefully by the time you've looked at all of the videos in this unit, you'll come to that conclusion as well. See you next time. This has been a We Have Couches video production. Copyright 2020, Professor Michael Botwin. All rights reserved.